Hey guys, it's Ted Bo. I'm so excited to spend some time with one of my favorite human beings, the one and only Michelle Sperzel. She is the CEO, Executive Director of Harbor House of Central Florida. And we are going to talk about, which we do at least once a year, talk about Walk a Mile in Her Shoes 2024. It's coming up next week, if you can believe it, February 8th. It kicks off. I've participated in it every year that it's been here in Orlando that I can remember. And I just love having Michelle on to share about Harbor House, which still a lot of our neighbors, a lot of our community just don't realize, and they don't realize the impact you have, you and your team. So welcome back. How are you, Michelle?
I'm doing well, Ted. It's always a pleasure to see you.
Always.
Sad that I'm not like right next to you rubbing
I
elbows.
know, that's always fun. We've done red carpets before. So it's always a good time for an amazing organization. And I just love the whole concept of it when I heard about Walk a Mile in Her Shoes. And then when I found out more about Harbor House, it just fell in love with how much amazing work you do in the community. But before we get to that, of course, I want them to know a little bit about you. So tell them about the one and only Michelle.
Oh, you're so nice. So Michelle Sperzel, I'm the CEO of Harbor House. I am starting my 7th year here at Harbor House, running the Certified Domestic Violence Agency. But I've been in Florida for many years. I used to live up in the Destin, Fort Walton Beach area. I used to live up in Chicago, also from Milwaukee. So go Packers. They did awesome this year. It was good.
Go Packers. Football is so big up. Well, it's big everywhere.
Yes.
So tell me. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you go.
Well, I want people to know about Harbor House. Every time we do the show, or every time I'm promoting any kind of event that you do, people are always like, I just didn't know about it. And the impact, the amount of people, amount of women, men, and families that you serve is just astounding to me. So tell us a little bit about Harbor House.
So Harbor House, we're the Certified Domestic Violence Center that's here in Central Florida. Specifically, we're here in Orange County, and we have an emergency shelter. So someone who is fleeing or needs to flee or is looking for a safe place because of domestic violence, we have our shelter. It's a 136-bed shelter. It's actually one of the largest here in the state of Florida. We also have a crisis line. It's 24/7. Someone can call or someone can text. That number is 407-886-2856. And someone can call there or they can text there if they need help as far as getting out of a domestic violence situation, to find out more resources that are here in the local community, to talk to an advocate, and to safety plan about whatever situation they are in. And then also on our emergency campus, and we definitely have a campus, it is that we have the emergency shelter. Our crisis line is right here. We have an on-site kennel. So if someone's fleeing with their entire family, including their pets, they have a place that they can take their pet. When the pet comes on campus, we have the availability to get them veterinarian services in addition to other basic needs. And we also have an on-site childcare program for someone who's coming in as well, so that they can keep their job. They would be able to take the child into our DCF certified childcare program. We also have prevention programming on site for the youth that are staying in our emergency shelter, so that, they are learning more about domestic violence. They're learning about healthy relationships and also boundaries. And that's just here on our emergency campus. Out in our community, we have injunction for protection attorneys that can help someone with legal advice when it comes to filing an injunction, can represent them when it comes to filing an injunction. That's at the courthouse at the 5th floor. And we work a lot with our community partners, the clerk of courts. And then we also have advocates that are co-located at other law enforcement. So if law enforcement is responding to a domestic violence call and that person says that they want help, they can be connected with an advocate. We also have an entire prevention program where we have our advocates that are going out into the schools and they're talking to kids about dating violence, and they're also talking to them about healthy relationships. And with us being in February is Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month. It's really important that kids know that there is help. It's really important for kids to know that violence is not just something that happens in a marriage, that it's something that happens in relationships, and that it's not okay to have someone put you down, make fun of you, ask you for pictures of you naked only to post them online. It's really important that people know that domestic violence is not just about, people over 18. It happens to individuals when they're getting into some of their first dating relationships as well.
It's amazing. Every facet of life in our community, Harbor House touches what you touch. It's interesting. Every time we do the show, people will reach out and go, basically, I think they have, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening in the mouse's backyard. I think people have an interesting perception that it's really only on TV, or that the numbers must be super low because we don't hear about it as much. But give them some stats, because I know 2020 was a challenge. How has it been moving forward? What was 2023 like?
Yeah, I mean, as far as the number of people that we help here specifically, and you have to think about, we are just Orange County, but in our outreach program, we helped over 5,000 individuals that were still possibly living with the abuser, or they were living on their own and they're still looking to need help and seek services. As far as our emergency shelter is concerned, it's been right around 800 because we were doing a renovation. But now that we're fully open, we know that the number of people that we are going to be able to house is going to be going up. Pre-pandemic, we were at 1,000 individuals every year that lived with us. And I know that that's who's going to be coming back. And, it's a safe place. And that's why we exist. We exist so that if someone needs to leave and come in and find safety and security, really figure out what the next several weeks of their life looks like, and we can help them get to that next step. And that's why we're here. And so, but the national stats are like 1 in 4 women experience domestic violence. And so we know that the stats are really high. And part of it is that some people don't identify that they are a victim of domestic violence. They don't know the signs of it. And so that's where we do a lot of education, especially just calling our hotline and saying, this is great. I don't know if this is what I should be experiencing. My boyfriend did this, my husband did this, or my girlfriend did this, and I don't know if this is normal or not normal. My friends say that it's not. And so, some people don't even know that the relationship that they're in is unhealthy, let alone violent. And that's where education comes into play. And
so critical.
Interesting, because you said, people learn about Harbor House and they didn't know that we exist. And that's the whole thing, is that abusers thrive in silence. And so a lot of people don't know about Harbor House unless a friend, a family member, a coworker, or an employee comes in experiencing domestic violence, and they need to know more and learn more. And that's when people learn about Harbor House and know that there is help.
That's why your outreach is so important, because a lot of people don't know about the resource, or they know somebody who needs it and aren't exactly sure where to go. And one of the ways that you all bring awareness is walk a mile in her shoes. I have done it every year. I am a childhood abuse survivor and DV survivor, obviously, in the household, which you all, if you don't think that's impacting your kids, let me tell you it does. And so I wish that we had had a safe house. I wish that we had it was more acceptable back then. I'm from the Stone Age, and we didn't, it just wasn't talked about like it is now. And it wasn't brought to light, and everybody kind of kept things in the dark. And so I love doing events like this. Somebody asks me every year, why do you walk? I walk for my childhood. I walk for the people I know who have experienced. I walk for the people I know who have passed because they were attacked and brutalized. And so I love doing this event. So talk about the why. What is Walk a Mile in Her Shoes about?
Yes. So domestic violence is a gender-based violence when you talk about the percentages, where it is that 90% of the individuals impacted by domestic violence are women. And so it's men perpetrating violence on women. And so there's so many different messages in the Walk a Mile in Her Shoes. The number one is it's really talking to men about what is their role in holding other men accountable when it comes to violence against women. And that's why it's Walk a Mile in Her Shoes, because domestic violence is a journey. People often say, oh, you should just leave. Well, leaving's really hard. And so there's this entire journey that goes along with getting out of a domestic violence situation. And then the last piece is that it's really been about men getting engaged, being seen as allies. And so that's the big ask, is we're asking men to walk a mile in her shoes. And so it's an event where you will see lots of different high influential men who participate in the event that are putting on high heels and walking, or different types of shoes. It's not their normal shoes, and walking a mile to raise awareness for domestic violence, and letting survivors know and letting victims know that there are men who want to hold and will hold other men accountable. So Mayor Demings, Mayor Dyer, Sheriff Mina, Chief Smith, State Attorney Bain, all these different individuals who really believe in the mission of Harbor House and who have over the course of many years participated in the event, and really been there to say, we are a part of the solution within our community, and we want other men to be part of the solution as well. And it starts by having conversations, saying that's not how you treat other people.
It's just, every time we do the walk, I'm amazed at support along the lines. Like, we're walking down Orange Avenue, by the way. They block it off, and so we all walk. Women don't have to. Women who come and participate and be part do not. Usually, you should wear your comfortable shoes. The one time you get to, I feel like. But I think it's so powerful to watch everybody walking, knowing that we're all on the same mission to bring awareness, to also educate women primarily, that there are men that do support the cause and are good and want to hold people accountable. And I think what you said is just so powerful. Sometimes I'll have people afterwards say, I wish I had that like I did. Like, I wish I had that. I wish that I had known about it for my kids. I wasn't in an area that had one, so I'm here to support that. And it's amazing the different stories that you hear from people, and the different insanity that they had to go through, and how it's impacted their lives. It's an impact forever. I mean, this is a product of a lot of counseling right here. So I'm not ashamed to say that. But I think there's a lot of people who don't get the service. And imagine if you can get out prior to it being a lifelong thing that you're having to deal with. So tell them the details about Walk a Mile.
So it is on Thursday, February 8th. It's going to be starting down at City Hall. And so we start off there. We have the actual kickoff is at 6 o'clock. We ask people to get there around 5 for registration. We have a little bit of a welcome from a lot of, like myself, and then some of the different people I mentioned, to just talk about, our engagement, why we're there to raise awareness when it comes to domestic violence. And then it's a very short walk. We go from City Hall down to we start at the courthouse and we walk to City Hall. I had it backwards in my head. We start at the courthouse and we walk down to City Hall. It kicks off around 6 o'clock. We walk down Orange Avenue. You'll have people who are waving in support. You'll have people who are honking their horns in support. And really it is about raising awareness about domestic violence, the services that are here. We do have individuals who are walking in honor of, who are walking in memory of. And so people put that on their back or on their front to say who it is that they're walking for. You'll see a lot of people who say that they're walking for themselves as well, that there is life on the other side of domestic violence. And the registration is $25. It's $35 if you want a t-shirt. And people always ask, like, well, Michelle, if you're raising awareness, why are you charging for it? Is because we're really offsetting the cost of the event in order for us to be able to close the streets and do what we're doing that's downtown. And if we end up being able to raise money for it, it goes directly towards the emergency shelter as well. So, I mean, it's one of those things where it's really all about making sure that people know about Harbor House, making sure people know that there are allies here in the community and that we're all working together so that people know that they do not have to stay in a domestic violence relationship, that there are resources that are available, and how all of us work together, because Harbor House can't do it alone. We working with law enforcement, working with the state attorney's office, working with the clerk of the court is how we're able to help survivors navigate the journey and get out of the situation that they're in.
And if you all go, I tell you that the stories that are shared and the amount of public support from our leaders, plus Nothing like seeing Mayor Demings or Mayor Dyer in some sort of pump, some sort of high heel shoe, or Sheriff Mina. You know, I love seeing all of that. And it's just, you know, they're public figures, and it's just so wonderful that they give back and they believe in the services that Harbor House offers. It's just, it's a beautiful event, start to finish, and you will leave there with a lot on your mind, and hopefully to continue to support Harbor House. I have a team. You can create a team. You can go to harborhousefl.com, I believe. Right. Yep. And my team's title queen, and shout out, by the way, I have to Kat Brower and Eileen Winfrey and TJ and all of the team members. But you can create your own team. I encourage you to get out and support. It's a life-changing event. When you go and you walk and you know that you're making a difference, it's just a beautiful thing. And you see survivors around you all over. Mm-hmm. People will come up and share stories. It's a blessing to be able to do. And I'm excited to do it again. And I'm so blessed by you, Michelle, and the other Michelle, and all the great work you and your team do. It's life-changing. I know it is. As a survivor, I'm aware it is. And so thank you for that. You guys get out. It's Walk a Mile in Her Shoes 2024. I'm going to have something good and sparkly and fun on. So I will be in shoe, high heel-ish. I'm not ever going to do the long pump again. I learned the first time, but I do wear heels of some kind, and I would love to see you guys come out. It's next Thursday, February 8th. 5 o'clock is when we'd like you to be there, but you can register online at harborhousefl.com. Thank you, Michelle Sperzel.
Thank you, Ted.
You're the best. I appreciate you and all your team. Get out, get involved, reach out to me or Michelle. Actually, reach out to harborhousefl.com or reach out to me and I'll get you to them. All right, everybody, get involved. Come out and see us. Look at all those high heel shoes. We'll see you guys later.